Okay, for this interactive experiment, I strongly recommend you pause the video, go grab a deck of cards, come back, and we'll get started. Now, I'm assuming you have a deck of cards in your hand. What I'd like you to do is to shuffle your deck of cards really well. The cards have got to be well mixed for this experiment to work. Now, once they've been shuffled, you can pause the video if you have to, and then we'll move on. Now, assuming now you have the deck of cards all shuffled, what I'd like you to do is hold the deck of cards face up in your hand. Now, in a moment, what you're going to do is you're going to divide the deck into 3 random-sized piles. And to do this, you're simply going to slide 2 cards at a time off the face-up deck. You're going to look at the values, see what values are odd and even, and you're going to set them in their designated piles based on what values are odd and what values are even. Now, for example, I have 2 odd valued cards here. I'm going to start an odd valued pile face up, just like that. Next, I have 2 even valued cards, so I'm going to start an even valued pile face up to my left. Okay, so I have the odds to my right, the evens to my left, and if you have an odd and even value in your pair of cards, you're going to simply place those in the middle face down. Okay? Now, I just want to stress too, just pay close attention to the court cards. It can be a little tricky sometimes. Just remember that queens, of course, are even values being 12, and jacks odd being 11, and kings, of course, also odd being 13. Okay? Now, you're going to place those odd and even valued pairs again face down in the middle. So just to review one more time, you're going to go through the entire deck, sliding 2 cards at a time. Again, I have an odd and even value, so I'm going to place those face down in the middle pile. I have 2 even valued values, so I'm going to place them face up in my even valued pile. And I have, again, an odd and even value, so they go face down in the middle. And of course, if I have 2 odd values, they go face up in my odd value pile. So, pause the video, carefully go through the entire deck that way, dealing the cards into the random sized piles based on how the pairs of cards end up together in your mixed deck. Okay? So do that now, and we'll move on with the rest. Assuming now you've paused the video, you've gone through the entire deck, you should now have odd values in one pile. So I'll just, for demonstration purposes, I'll just pretend that these are odd values. And over here, I have my random even valued pile, and then my random odd and even face down pile. So, I think it's very fair to say that I have no idea how many odd and even cards you have in your face down pile, and I have no clue how many even cards you have in your even pile, or how many odd cards you have in your odd pile. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little sort of mentalism experiment. First off, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to count how many cards are in your face down pile. Okay? Now obviously you're going to have an even amount of cards, an even total, because you've been dealing the cards 2 cards at a time. So on all the piles you'll have even totals. But what those even totals, of course, I have no clue. So what I'd like you to do is to count your cards, carefully count your face down pile. You can pause the video if you want. When you have your number, your total of your face down pile, I want you to remember that number. And what we're going to do is I'm going to have you just look at this chart. And as you can see, I have all the potential even numbers from 2 to 52 with random suits designated for each even number. I'd like you to look for your even number and look for the suit beside your even number. I want you to memorize that suit, burn that suit in your mind. You can forget the even number as long as you have now the suit that's beside your designated even number. Okay? Now I have no clue, again, what that even number could be or what suit now you have in your mind. I'd like you to keep that suit in your mind. And what we're going to do next is I'd like you to count one of your even or odd piles. Okay? So count one of your even and odd piles now. Pause the video if you have to. Remember that number. And then count how many cards you have in your opposite pile. What I want you to do is take those 2 totals and subtract the lesser total from the greater total to give you a final number. Okay? Now, this final number, if it's a single digit, that's great. Just hold on to that single digit. Keep that in your mind. If it's a two-digit number greater than 13, add the two digits together to get a single digit. If it's 13 or less, that's great. Hold on to that number. That's going to be your secret value. Okay? This value I'd like you to combine with your secret suit that you found from the chart I just showed earlier. I want you to combine that suit with your value, so now you have a completely secret random card in your mind. Okay? I want you to concentrate on that card. I want you to visualize that card actually. And I'm going to attempt to see if I can figure out, just get an impression from your visualization of this card and see if I can find it, okay? So just give me a moment while I deal through the cards and I'll see if I get any kind of impression. Okay. And no, I don't sense anything there. Let me just see. That's not your card, is it? No, hold on a second. Are any of these your card? I'm not sensing anything. None of these are your card either, are they? Not any one of these. That's really weird. I'm not getting anything. Well, I don't know. I'm sorry I wasted your time. I just can't seem to see it. I don't know. Well, anyways, thank you for watching, and sorry about that. I couldn't figure it out, but maybe next time. Thanks for watching.